Hello and welcome to Geeks at the Round discussion of the Blacklist season 1, episode 4, The Stew Maker. And Matt Moore, I think he's having some stew. Did you make some stew today, Mr. Moore?
I have Mountain Dew.
Mountain
Maybe
Dew
that's
rhymes with stew.
Mountain Stew.
Yeah, and just the rhyme alone works. And so how you doing today, Mr. Moore?
I'm doing well. I'm doing quite well. I enjoyed the episode.
I'll tell you my opinion in a minute.
All right.
Johan Phillips.
Hello. Yes. I am very well, and yes, I did enjoy this episode a lot. It was actually the best episode this season yet, in my opinion.
Yep, jumping into it, exactly. That's what my thoughts are. I freaking love this episode. Me personally, I love this episode. I think the show hit its stride, and I don't think there was one, except for I still hate Elizabeth Keene. I hate her as an actress. I think she makes horrible choices, and I wish they'd do away with her, which is kind of suck. Well, no, the show is pretty good as far as the writing goes and the actors otherwise, because when you have your second leg of your show, it's Keene versus Reddington, and when your second leg is wobbly, you're still holding up good. That's a pretty good sign.
I have no problem with the actress, but I do understand that Elizabeth Keene is very much not making good choices. I have to agree with that.
Well, I think
Nope.
I think as an actress she's making bad choices too, just with faces she makes. She has the most annoying faces on television right now. She's Laura. She's the new Lori to me.
Right?
Yeah. I left my notes in the other room. Last minute I had to move into here because there's construction going on in my room.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Random construction. But I will get up at some point when somebody else starts talking and go get it. But I also have a recap up here.
Well, I was going to say is the episode, of course, go get your notes. I'm going to talk.
Oh, yeah, I have a laptop. I can walk with this. I'm so stupid.
Okay. The episode was basically called The Stew Maker. It was about this man who basically pulls a Walter White and makes bodies disappear.
You're not the only one who's made that assessment. I thought that myself. Jeff from G Plus commented the same thought, and it's funny that you said that. Carry on, sir.
And it's just you kind of get into his mind a little bit because of the fact that Elizabeth Keene is trying to profile him the entire time he's torturing her, and then you also see like all the scars on his body, and you see the wife who has absolutely no idea that this man
and the wife and the kid. That was just like. Everything about that character I loved. I really thought that was I thought they played well. I don't know if they were doing it for Halloween because it was very, very horror themed, even with the music when she was running through the woods.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Halloween themed specifically or if this is really a tone the show is going to go for. I think obviously it is because as we saw, the Stew Maker's very most likely very important. He did something bad to somebody that was important to Reddington.
Yeah. And going in with the Halloween theme, this episode made me jump at least once. When she was in the forest, hiding behind the tree, and she turns and sees that dog, that made me jump. Seriously.
If I probably would have jumped myself if I didn't wake up like 16 hours ago. I was like half asleep watching the show, but I still was. I caught more of it this week than I do normally on weeks where I'm more awake. It seems like it was a bit jumbled up the last 2 weeks with a lot of procedural stuff, but they didn't focus so much on the FBI this week, which I liked. They just kind of stuck with the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that we stepped out of the office for a minute.
Well, I was hoping that's what we were getting. all along. They were saying in the ads, you're going to get a blockbuster summer film every week all fall. And this is the first week it's felt like that to me.
Well, the first week felt like that.
Well, it did as well.
Yeah.
But you can't kind of count the first week because they blasted that into our brains. Like, all of those images are iconic now, no matter what. Like, the thing with him, putting his hand behind his heads and all the sirens going off when he walks in. Those things have been burned into our brains. So that's why I don't really count the first one. But outside of the first one, you're right. Since the first one, this is the first episode that's lived up to that promise. But we're gonna have a lot more. It was just ordered for a full season. It's huge in the ratings. It's one of the biggest new series out right now.
Oh,
and
all right.
It's getting good reviews by the critics.
Yeah, and it's a good show. It deserves it.
I think so too. I'm fine. Like I said, last week, Johan and I were kind of discussing. It's like popcorn. It's like candy. It's kind of junk food, but it's becoming really good food now. Really good junk food. It's going from a Dorito to a cheesesteak. Last week we had it as a Dorito, but maybe it's not a cheesesteak yet. I don't know. This was a cheesesteak worthy episode.
Yeah,
I think we need to get off the food metaphors. That's my thought.
I got a barbecued pork sandwich waiting for me.
Yeah, I got ribs.
That's what they were. It was ribs. I made delicious ribs. Well, listen, and that's another funny thing that we mentioned, and on the lines of food right before we jump off of it. While I was eating my ribs and thinking about last week's episode, I said, damn, I might end up doing this hangout tonight and talking about my ribs, because my ribs might be more exciting than this show, because it wasn't so good the last 2 weeks. It was good, but it just wasn't living up to what I have been hoping to get as an experience. And I don't want to talk about my ribs, man. It was a good experience this week.
So in response, you made sure to talk about not talking about your ribs.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Johan said ribs. Johan said ribs. He's got ribs waiting for him. It was fate. I had to speak about my ribs. It had to happen.
So this episode was better than your ribs, then, Todd.
Oh, that's hard. Those are some good fucking ribs I made. Asian on the inside and sweet and tangy on the outside. But anyway, I do want to say, like Matt, you do every week on the Dexter, or you did when it existed. The funny line of the week. I think this show's definitely going to have a funny line of the week, and I've already found one. He said to the FBI people when they were saying, I have a meeting with this Tuco guy, or whatever the fuck his name was. His name
Tuco.
Was, yeah, I know. I know what I'm doing there. What the hell was his name? Lorca. He says, I have a meeting with this Lorca guy, and they're like, oh, like we're going to let you do that. And he was like, of course you're going to let me do it. It's like falling on your ass and landing in a pile of Christmas.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the episode was put together pretty well. I mean, you had the story where Reddington really did not give a fuck about what the FBI was doing. Like, he didn't care. He didn't want to be involved because it was beneath him in his eyes. And then he realized that it may not be so as beneath him as he thought. And that was kind of interesting because of the fact that made it to where where you see that he is not there specifically for Elizabeth Keene, because if his only interest was Elizabeth Keene, he would give a shit what she did. If she fucking took a toozy in the toilet, he'd be all over that. But he doesn't give a fuck. Yeah. He really doesn't give a fuck about this lower scum. So it does show that his motivation is these bad guys and not Elizabeth Keene.
I agree with just about everything you said except for one thing. I think that he was. No. I think that he was not being truthful with the FBI. I think he was feigning his lack of interest in the case because he knew it was for the stew maker, I think, right? Or did he figure that out? No, he's too smart. He knew it was the stew maker, and obviously he wanted the stew maker because the stew maker did something bad to him. Maybe stewed up his actual daughter.
Well, that's just it. Is you see him actually figuring it out? Like
yeah, I realized that as I was saying.
Yeah, he's all like, oh, hundreds of people missing and nobody's. Oh, okay. Well, that is what made him think, oh, that's like that fits the MO of this guy I want.
Yeah. I think you're right. Which is, I guess, I don't know, a little bit cheesy, but hey, it's network TV. I would just think Reddington would know off the bat. I mean, come on, he tracked that dog by a piece of hair. I don't even know how he could have possibly done it. I can't fathom how he could have possibly done it. The episode was so good. I have.
You know how he did it?
How'd he do it?
He did it because he's James Spader. That's how
he used the power of James Spader.
Yes.
No, he called Kevin Bacon, and he used the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon to track down the dog.
No, he did it because of the fact that he knew the name of the guy, and he knew that the guy loved his dog. So I think he took a chance that that dog was chipped.
Okay.
Right. Oh, so but then see, that would prove more to the theory that he was being coy, because if he knew who the guy was already, he
knew who the guy was already because he was there when they figured out who he was. When they figured out his name.
Oh yeah, I guess they figured out his name. You're right. That's right, because that's how they got to his
family. Yeah.
Family. Okay, so that problem solved. So look at that flawless victory.
You'll have to forgive me. I literally just finished watching it. I haven't had a day. Oh, okay. I was gonna say I haven't had a day in between to lose the details.
No, I just have a day of no sleep in between, or before, or preceding, to lose the details. Well, what else? What other thoughts you guys have?
On this part, not much.
No, I mean on anything. We're just talking about the show.
I think Elizabeth Keene needs to fucking have a talk with her husband and be like, "What the fuck? Like, we need to talk about this right the fuck now, and you better have some damn good excuses."
Is that the best? Yeah. Is that the best move for her to make? Really though?
I don't know. I mean, it's weird that they're not touching base on it at all. And out of nowhere, he's just like, "Hey, let's book a little vacation," and she's like, "Okay."
No, but then she saw that Angel Station wasn't a person, but it was a place. And I did go on record saying I hope they didn't slow burn us with this, but now I'm changing my stance. I'm enjoying the slow burn.
Well, that's just it. Is I must have missed, where did she get the name Angel Station?
It was on a box in an evidence room. They didn't really say why or what led her to that box, but I guess we just.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. Now I remember. Yeah.
Well, no, you know what? Those FBI guys, the higher ups, they were giving some exposition on the scene by saying that she's been on a trail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
don't know. I guess when I saw that scene, I thought she was looking for the box that said Angel Station, not she went to the box and it said Angel Station. Does that make sense?
I think so.
In other words, I thought she was looking up Angel Station. I didn't realize she was looking up a number or whatever, and then the box was named Angel Station, and that's where she got the name.
I don't know either what that real answer is. I just pretty sure I saw Angel Station on the box. I do have a recap here that might say something about it. But another great line. What did you guys think about it? I would, after he killed that dude and just dropped him in the bad acid, which I thought was awesome for a network. You know, you don't really, because listen, and just as I thought this, he said this line. They're really rooting on the bad guy now. You know what I'm saying? They're banking on the bad guy. They've got a show that is driven by a bad guy. And after he drops the dude in the water or the acid or whatnot, and then he goes, "Are you gonna tell her? Are you gonna tell on me?" And she goes, "I had that thought." and then she goes, "You're a monster," and he goes, "Yes." And I thought that was awesome, because
I
that's
was
Yeah, that
I
was a
was
cool part.
expecting, because I've heard it a couple times recently on different shows, people saying you're a monster, or someone saying I'm a monster, and the response being, yeah, but you're our monster. And I was totally expecting that to be his response. Is, yes, I might be a monster, but I'm a monster that works for you.
Yeah, well, which is essentially what it is, because then he said something to the effect of, "Well, you're alive, right? She's alive,
Yeah,
so
basically.
that's why he does it."
Yeah, and that's actually very true. Is that, and he was very flippant, and basically he was throwing it in her face. He's all like, she's judging him, and so his response is, yeah, but I saved your life, so shut the fuck up. I
Essentially,
mean, that's not what he said, but that's what he said.
which
Is
harkens back to
Yeah,
the Jack Bauer references that I've been seeing all along. Because that's something
the Jack?
Jack Bauer would do. He would drop you in a vat of acid if it was for the greater good.
right.
Yes.
It
And it
just
seems
feel
like that's
like
what this guy is. Because he did allude more to keeping up appearances, and I think that meant a little something else. Because he was really balling this episode with his hats and his, he was really lavish in his jet, and he's completely free, like now at this point it seems. And excuse me, ribs. And he's he's keeping up appearances. I really kind of think he's been playing this evil role all along. Like he's the ultimate criminal to be the ultimate good guy, the ultimate vigilante, undercover, the ultimate undercover agent, CIA, Illuminati. Because look at my little picture here. They got that triangle behind him, and I've been noticing they're using the triangle in the imagery. And the triangle is synonymous with Illuminati. The world loves secret societies. Maybe that's where he is.
Or maybe it's a reference to Stargate. We don't know.
No, but
it could be the Stargate.
I got a Stargate for you.
But yeah, I'm not sure exactly where they're going with him, but I'm enjoying the ride. I mean, he could be the secret vigilante, like we're all thinking and we hope for. But I don't know. I think no. It seems like everything he does is pretty selfless, even though there is some malicious actions in what he does. I mean, like when he brought the agent, the other
I
the
swear
blonde.
that I just looked at that paragraph, was just going to bring it up. That was an awesome scene. But I
Yeah, it
think he
was an
had that
awesome
whole thing
scene.
controlled, even though the agent didn't know. And yes, like you were saying, it seemed malicious.
Yeah.
I think it was all controlled. Like I think Reddington had, he knew what the hell was up. You don't walk unarmed into the fucking top of the drug lord, without
A plan?
without having 1,000 plans. He,
Okay, all right.
he's untouchable for a reason.
Yeah, he's untouchable, not the FBI agent.
So I don't know if you. I'm just saying I don't know if you'd call that malice. I think he was just fucking with the agent.
Maybe.
Now, I have a different theory. It's almost a conspiracy theory of this show. Like, it's not really a wild speculation because it's not that wild. But what if he's doing this not because he has a dislike for these people, with exceptions to people like the stew maker, because obviously he had a dislike for him. But what if the people on this list are he's targeting specifically to get rid of competition? What if he truly is a bad guy?
I was thinking that too. That would be just as good to me.
Well, yeah, that's what I was just pointing out. Like, what if he, what if he really is just a bad guy? But then, why is he so quick to save Elizabeth King?
Well, because she has some tie. But now that we have that other girl who was killed by the stew maker, it really throws a lot of theories for a loop, I think.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the picture he took out of the book. I mean, who is that? Is that his daughter?
I'd assume it's his daughter because she's young and
She's young when that picture was taken. That book had a lot of pictures in it. and she
Yeah,
was right near the front. That girl right there could be or
Like his
could
high school
read
girlfriend or
Reddington's fate.
something,
Yeah, it could have been his girlfriend, like
or
20, 30
sister,
years
or
back.
yeah.
Yeah, I
maybe his
mean,
wife, maybe.
Well, I think it was too young for a wife.
Okay, yeah, maybe sister, like you said. Yeah, I don't know. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, I guess we're gonna have to just wait and find out.
But it definitely added. I think you know something. I have to applaud that because they've been showing a lot of restraint and they've been letting us all feel like smug bastards, saying, "Ha ha ha!" It's just so obvious that this is going to be his daughter, and they were just leading us in that direction, and then they go, "Boom! Here's this picture. Now what's that?" You know, it's
Yeah,
good mystery.
and we still don't know who was the guy who put all the surveillance cameras in Elizabeth Keene's house.
I'm still
oh
with
yeah,
my
we
theory.
didn't even get into that.
No, they didn't touch that, and they hardly touched the husband. But they definitely. I like what he said. I know what you're thinking at all the times, which might tie into the surveillance. You know what I'm saying? He said
Yeah,
that. Um, yeah, I'm definitely liking that. That's cool. Uh,
came
I
off a little
still think it's his
creepy
uncle.
too when he came off a little creepy too when he said it like that. When her husband said it, like, I know what you're always thinking. Yeah. It's like, well, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Why don't you just tell her that you're watching her at all times and possibly trying to kill her? I
Well, he's probably another CIA operative, and
don't know. Well, who knows? Maybe this little weekend getaway might show what he's really about. You know?
oh, she better go. She better go, and she better tail his ass.
See, that's
Yeah.
just it. Is I don't see how she can know that this guy is up to something. We don't know what he's up to. He could be he could be a bad guy. We have no way of knowing, and neither does Elizabeth Keene. Yet she's so like she's still like, okay, oh yeah, let's kiss, let's make out, let's have sex, let's do this. Like she's not weary of this guy at all.
She's weary, but not weary enough. I agree, but I think that's the friggin' actress because as I look at it, they give enough room in the direction of the show. They give enough room for her to properly convey that story with her face, but she doesn't. She plays it like a fucking soap opera actress, which pisses me off. Elizabeth Keene.
Damn you and your poor acting skills.
So it was kind of funny. I ended up seeing a scene that James Spader was in from 2 Days in the Valley, and that
I don't
wasn't
think I've
that
seen
long
it.
ago.
No, it wasn't. Was it? I don't know. When did that come out?
That was probably what, a decade ago,
Is that
and
what
he looked so much younger.
Charlie's Theron or
Yes, yes.
yeah, okay, yeah. I think I recall liking that movie.
Yeah, yeah, because I was on his IMDb profile and I was trying to remember like what movies I had seen him in because I missed his whole like 80s era stuff. But I knew I had seen him somewhere before, and I guess it was that.
He pretty much played a doucher in the '80s, you know. He was just that preppy '80s
Douchebag kind of.
Porsche
Yeah.
riding, sweater over the shoulders, tied around the neck kind of guy. And then he stuck it into some lady's leg hole where she had a boo boo, and that kind of branded him as a creep. And then he started. Then he spanked Donnie Darko's sister while she peed on the floor, and that more solidified him as a creep. And then he worked with William Shatner. Yeah,
That's right. That's right. He was in
Secretary.
Secretary. Yeah, I did see that too. I saw that forever ago.
Yeah. So yeah, he is branded as a creep, and then I guess after Boston Legal with William Shatner, and then I think it all happened from The Office though. He came into The Office. He played the greatest role, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinions, played the greatest role the series had ever seen, and essentially replaced Steve Carell after he left. And they wanted him to come back for another year, but he was like, no, I did it. I said my piece. It was perfect. Like, which is exactly what that character would have done. Like I don't know. It was a really cool move. So I think Hollywood took note of that, and I think that's why I honestly think he got this and Ultron, because I really can't see any other reason for him to be super famous. Yes, Boston Legal was a popular show, but that was a long friggin' time ago. Oh, you never saw that?
I don't remember him in that show.
It was him and William Shatner. It was
I think I stopped watching when William Shatner went on because it's William Shatner.
That's terrible.
You don't like William Shatner, Matt? What do you have against the Shatner?
Show I really liked with William Shatner in it? The last show I liked with William Shatner in it was the one with Heather Locklear in the 70s. I think that's the only show.
T.J. Hooker.
T.J. Hooker, thank you. Because he didn't overact in that.
How do you forget when there's a hooker? I don't think he overacted in the Boston Legal from what I saw. And in fact, if I remember correctly, he had one of the greatest speeches on that show that I guess had a lot of social value. Or, whatever.
You'll have to YouTube that for me.
Yeah, I'll have to try to remember what the hell it was about. It might have been about surveillance or guns or, it touched on an issue, but, the writers of that show, I remember they made a good point, and it was a well-spoken thing, and it got some traction as far as, about going viral. But, yeah, to get off Shatner, I just want to end by saying I like...
You want to get off Shatner?
But, yes. I'm actually a fan of his music. Only the album. Well, I guess I like his spoken word too because I think it sounds funny. But I really like the album Has Been that he did with Ben Folds. I think it's freaking genius.
Okay.
It's freaking genius. I love it.
Yeah.
But back to the Black. What else you guys want to talk about this episode? Because there's not too much. It's network. There's a lot of freaking commercials, and
yeah.
I want to know what the point of that dog was. They could have done that character completely front to back without the dog.
Well, that's how they found him, through the tracker. I mean,
they could have thought of another way to track him. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
They have probably
maybe because they were like, "Oh, look at the doggy."
Well, we find out that's actually David, or that's actually like some cast member's actual dog, and they're like, "I want to put the dog on TV."
Yeah, it could be.
Isn't that how Hollywood works?
Pretty much.
It's not who you know, it's who you blow. And if you got peanut butter, you got a job.
They're like, hey, this dog knows a great trick.
Oh boy. I do want to say I really like the thing of what the stew maker was saying about how he does, like, what he does is transforming energy in a cleaner, faster. I like the whole MO behind him. That was cool. Not expected for network.
I was a bit upset that they killed him off at the end of this episode. I was hoping they would keep him on as an antagonist.
I was, honestly, the whole time I was too. But I mean, that was a big moment, and who knows? Maybe the stew maker has, because listen, he just met this wife and kid. They made a point to say he met this wife and kid like 10 years ago or whatever. And
they better not turn. They better
has
not
another
turn
family.
Freaking Saw.
Saw? What do you mean? Well, no, but listen, maybe he has another son, from before this marriage, who's older, and that son might want to carry on his father's legacy and going after Reddington or something. I don't know. Well, how would they turn it to Saw? By him having proteges? I thought that's where you were going with. No. I was saying maybe he had a son or something.
All right.
That or something that comes back to haunt him.
Or a brother by the name of Brian Moser.
Or a brother. Who's Brian Moser?
That's Dexter's. That's Dexter's brother.
Oh, okay. I
I was
forgot
making a
about
Dexter reference.
that. Listen, that show did such a disservice to itself that I've erased it from my brain. I have too many more important things to put up there.
Okay.
Too many more important things. What else you guys got? I've talked about everything I want to talk about in this episode, so it's all on you
The one
fuckers.
thing I want to talk about is the conversation that that Red Reddington was having with the stew maker, talking about the farm and how this
I
farmer.
did want to mention that too. It didn't make any sense to me. I loved his acting. I thought it was really cool looking at and hearing, but it made no sense. Carry on. I'm sorry. That wasn't
I was
my
just
point.
gonna say is that it was basically a story of how a monster becomes a monster. But the thing is it seemed anecdotal and not like a true story, something that actually happened, because of the fact that, of course, as far as I know, Red Reddington was never a farmer,
Yeah.
neither was the stew maker.
Well, it's definitely
So
anecdotal. I mean, you
Yeah.
said you're the farmer.
yeah, and you were good once, and you were a good person once, and someone hurt you very, very bad, and now you have to hurt other people very, very bad.
So that's what he was saying.
It appears to be, yes.
I didn't. I had a little bit of hearing problems in that part because my computer was being very loud. For some reason, I forget to DVR this show, and I end up watching it on the internets.
Damn the internets.
Yeah, but
But yeah, that appears to be what that whole scene was about. Is how does a monster become a monster? A monster does not generally. I mean, obviously, sociopaths exist, but monsters do not normally start out as bad people. They're generally normal people that just bad things happen to them, and that turns them into monsters. Like, for example, Rush Limbaugh. I'm sure he was a nice guy once upon a time.
haha, probably not. No, well, he likes to party, so he was probably out there one day having a good time. No, but you know what? Maybe that line where he said the line that I said I thought was cool. That one where she's like, "You're a monster," and he's like, "Yes." Oh, it does imply that because somebody hurt him, which was the stew maker, hurt him by doing whatever he did to that girl, and that turned him into a monster. So,
Maybe,
man,
yeah.
listen, you know something? This show, we might be watching the most genius show ever because this show would essentially be giving its whole motivation and it's like a normal show would have it all leading up to his getting the stew maker, and it's like,
Yeah.
nah, episode 4 he drops him in the pit of acid, and now you can spend the rest of the seasons, until the damn show's, off the air, learning all the story. This might be a genius show because that's a pretty ballsy move. If that's even it, there might be a whole lot more.
That actually leads to another speculation, and that is, what if? Because I was saying that what if he was trying to get rid of competition? What if he's just trying to get rid of the people who made him a monster? That not only made him a monster originally, but made him have to step over the line more and more and more, and that's why there's so many people on the list, is because of the fact that a lot of people contributed to him becoming this horrible person.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. I think that makes a lot of sense. Just you say your counterpoint, but let me possibly help elaborate Matt's point. I think that makes a lot of sense because essentially it's like he had to do bad things to become this criminal that he is, to get to the place he needed to be to do what he wanted to do. But to get to that place, he had to do a lot of horrible things, like you just said. So these are the specific people who asked for the worst things, like, go kill that puppy,
And the one person who had faith in him, the one person who actually tried to help him, was Elizabeth Keene's father.
Yeah, his father.
I'm calling that shit right now.
That would be an interesting twist. That would be, yeah.
It takes away from the uncle story that I like, but yeah, that's a good one.
Did you have a counterpoint over there, Johan?
No, I was just saying maybe. I mean, I think this show.
I agree.
I
I
agree.
concur.
I think that, but no, I think this show it's setting it up to where it could be going in a lot of different directions. I don't think. I mean, they give us little hints every episode of what is going on, but we still don't have nearly the whole picture yet.
Yeah.
No, and what a excellent mystery it is. It is seeming to deliver. Is that what the genre is, mystery? Because then it's winning.
Yeah, yeah, I would say so.
Cool.
All right, what else you guys got? We got any wild speculation?
Just that one.
Just that one, Johan.
Yeah, yeah, I would say that would be pretty wild stuff.
I think. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna pull this one out, and who knows? Maybe this will be something real. All right, let's look at it all in the big picture. And okay, Tom, her husband, is a CIA agent. Because I guess I was thinking that before. He is a super powerful bad guy who was made a bad guy, not towards Matt's theory, which I do think is really good, but no, I think it's your first theory. I think he's taking out competition or some bigger picture like that. Because I think he's more evil because that would make him more good. And I think Tom knows the reason why he's going to go after Elizabeth, so he's trying to crack into this dude's secret world. This was a good one. This is a good one. I can't even speculate anymore.
Okay.
This show's got me.
Yeah.
All right.
Who knows?
I made no sense, did I? I made no sense, did I? All right.
Not a lot. No.
Next time I'll have the thought ready. I tried an experiment. I wanted to see if I could just,
The only
form
thing,
the thought together. It was teamwork I hoped for, but you guys let me down. You let me fall.
the only
Fuckers.
the only thought I have on this is that how long can they keep this going? Get this whole mystery concept. Can
Well,
they keep
forever,
going?
because if they killed the dude who could be the main motivation, and they did that early, maybe they're as smart as Red Reddington, and maybe the writers are so full in control of this. Maybe they've got it plotted out so far because that's a ballsy move what they did, and maybe if they're ready to make that kind of ballsy move, I think they might have enough to do what you were saying. Was that your full thought, or did I totally jerk you off?
No, that was it.
I have one big problem with the show, however, and that is this
Elizabeth
guy,
Kane.
the stew maker, was number 161 on this list. That means there's at least another 160 bad guys. Let's take away for the episodes. There's at least another 158 bad guys out there.
Oh no, they did like 261 last week or something.
Oh yeah, okay, then yeah, we've got 258 bad guys out there or whatever, at least that he's going to go after. This show would have really done well if it were an encapsulated show. If it were a show that there was the entire show had a beginning, a middle, and end, to where it just was going to run one season or just going to run 3 seasons, and that was it. That was the end of the story. Like there was no story beyond that. I think this show would have profited from that.
Maybe he doesn't want his full list. Maybe the blacklist is just BS. Maybe it is real, but he doesn't really. That's not his real goal. He doesn't really care about getting all of them. So when they get canceled, he can just go to Belize and retire.
Do people retire in Belize?
Yeah.
I do believe so. I do believe so.
I know that's where I'm going to be retiring.
Aruba. I'm going to Aruba.
Speaking of Belize, Breaking Bad, I do want to say my little cut-off words down there was supposed to say, I am the one who is watching the Blacklist, but you can't see the Blacklist, and that was a Breaking Bad reference.
I could tell that was a T, and I could tell the B, so I actually read it.
All right, good. I had nothing, so that's what I gave you.
Okay.
All right, what else we got? Any other comments on this show that I can't stop fawning over?
I think we're good.
It's got me. I'm thinking I'm liking this better than Walking Dead right now. Walking Dead could have bit my ass this week.
I'll agree with that.
This was definitely a better episode.
It was a better episode, but I did enjoy the episode of Walking Bad.
I enjoyed Walking Dead. Don't get me wrong, but like I said,
did I just call it Walking Bad?
Walking Bad.
Yeah. It's that misleading advertising because they're still showing Walter White in all the damn AMC ads, you know.
Even though the series is over, they're still pushing him.
They're trying to confuse everybody. Next thing you know, there's going to be some sort of advertising for Mad Men.
I'm telling you, they gotta freaking do a TV movie or like a mini series about Jesse. They got it.
I was gonna say once Mad Men comes on, I'm gonna be calling it Bad Men. Watch.
I gotta watch that show. AMC has been all hits thus far. But yeah, the real quick to tell you, I did like to my point about Walking Dead. As I said on the show, I enjoyed it. But if it were Return of the Living Dead, I would have loved it. I just thought it was too campy for the show. But listen, I could take campy. I don't know. I kind of hold it. It doesn't seem Kirkman standards to me. That's just I. But yeah, I still love the show. I still love. This is the only two episodes I really didn't like of the show was last season's ending and this season's opening. So, poop, and that's it. Nada else? No more words?
No, I think we're good.
Well, I'm going to Los Santos, everybody, and if you're on the Geeks It Around crew, you can see me there. And also tomorrow, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. starring Matt Moore, a discussion by the Geeks of the Round. What time is that, Matthew?
I'm going to watch right now. I'm going to watch the episode right now.
I've really got to catch up. I planned on doing it this weekend. This weekend became a big F. I'm hoping next weekend I'm catching up.
Well, considering that it didn't air until 3 hours and 49 minutes ago where you are, I think you can be forgiven.
All right. Well, I only saw the first episode at this point.
Yeah, okay.
I need to catch up.
Okay.
I've had no TV. Grand Theft Auto killed me.
First episode kind of annoyed me.
Oh, and actually, it's not going to be me doing the discussion this week because I actually work tomorrow night. It's Deano who's going to be running the discussion. So you guys need to catch up so you can help Deano out and be there for him.
It's a lot of TV show watching.
I will if I can get past Joss Whedon's annoying writers.
You don't want to send him in there with Deano when he's saying that.
No.
I'm sorry.
I've almost muted him myself.
Look, I'm sorry. Joss Whedon is a hit or a miss with me. I'm sorry.
Look, I can't say. All I can say about Joss Whedon is this, and I'll confess, Cabin in the Woods. I know he produced it, and that was a phenomenal movie in my opinion.
He produced it and co-wrote.
And he co-wrote it. All right, great.
I fucking muted him.
And it was phenomenal.
It was a phenomenal movie. I saw the first episode of Buffy because I loved the movie. Unfortunately, when it came on the air, I was incarcerated for a short period of time after and missed the next 3 weeks of Buffy and refused to watch anymore because I was angry for missing the 3 weeks because there was no DVR, there was nothing like that back then, and nobody was VHSing it for me.
You know what? So, I do respect Joss Whedon for Cabin in the Woods alone because it proved that he is a huge horror fan. Like, you know, that movie just, like, showed how much of a horror fan he is.
Hell
That's
yeah,
what I loved about it. You know?
I love what he's doing with the Avengers. I love what he's doing so far with Marvel.
And the Avengers was awesome. But you know what? You got to admit, it was kind of hard to fuck up the Avengers. Marvel already set it up so masterfully.
It wasn't. They already fucked up the Avengers. Although that was the 80s, you know.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, it was kind of hard to fuck up a big movie like that. I mean, all you need to do is what he did. Have the whole
no, they didn't
cool
fuck
shit. Iron Man do what?
No, I was correcting myself. I was wrong. Go ahead.
All he had to do was have the Hulk do cool shit, have Iron Man do cool shit, have
They
Thor
fucked up
do
the Hulk
cool
twice.
shit.
They fucked up the Hulk
Yeah.
twice.
What do you mean they fucked up the Hulk twice?
The first two
Oh,
Hulk
the
movies.
2 movies. I like the second movie.
I did too. I liked Ed Norton.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen the whole thing yet, the one with Ed Norton.
I got into a
it's good.
fight with the Incredible Hulk.
I'm sure you did.
I don't know.
I did. I got into a fight with Lou Ferrigno. It wasn't a fist fight. It was a verbal altercation over an incident involving Linda Blair, the Exorcist girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was obviously at a convention, I assume.
It was at a convention. I was working for Troma Films, and I was tasked. I was there with the editor-in-chief and the art director of Rue Morgue magazine, the #2 horror magazine in the world under Fangoria. And we were basically just getting drunk the whole time, stopping at each booth, drinking. But they were doing an article, and I was supposed to be getting contact information from stars for Lloyd Kaufman. And everybody was giving me their stuff. A lot of big people. And then I get to Linda Blair. I tell her, hey, I'm so-and-so from Troma. Lloyd would love to extend an offer to work with you. Here, would you be interested in giving me your contact information? Here's my, information, etc. She's like, sure, no problem, $20. And I was like, what? She's like, $20. It's like an autograph. I was like, did you not hear? I explained it over again, and she's like, no, I heard everything you said. $20. If you want anything from me. And I was like, you know what? Go fuck yourself. And then I told her all she ever did was The Exorcist, and then and I said some bad things about what happened to her in a TV movie. And Lou Ferrigno was sitting the whole time next to us, and he kept looking over, and I had this look on his face, and we left, and the four of us are walking out, me and those guys and my friend, and that's when Lou Ferrigno came out of a back door, and he freaking charged at me, and he was like, you don't talk to her like that. You don't see the respectable woman, and you don't ever talk to her like that again. And he was like, his veins are popping out of his neck, and he was just freaking out. And I was just shit fucked out of my mind. So I just laughed a lot. It was a good time.
All right.
I know.
And this is why we need a general topics podcast. And
right.
Wait. So in a way, Todd defeated the Hulk.
In a way, Reagan McNeil.
No, he survived the Hulk.
He survived the Hulk.
Reagan McNeil, the Exorcist, sent the Hulk after me, in a way. Hulk got mad. Fucking jerk. So I hated Lou Ferrigno ever since, so I'm kind of biased on the Hulk.
Okay.
All right. So that's it, guys. That was a preview of our upcoming podcast general discussion show. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you'll all always watch. American Horror Story, Thursday night, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. California time. Be there. All right. Did I forget anything? Are we good? We're good?
I think we're good.